Carol Danvers has landed to the Hollywood movie. Welcome to World Top Record Channel. Today, we're gonna find out top 10 greatest enemies of Captain Marvel. Before we begin, if you like the video, please be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Who's Captain Marvel? Captain Marvel is the name of several fictional superheroes appearing in American comic books published by Marvel Comics. Most of these versions exist in Marvel's main shared universe, known as the Marvel Universe. Carol Susan Jane Danvers is a fictional superhero appearing in American comic books published by Marvel Comics. Created by writer Roy Thomas and artist Gene Colan, Danvers first appeared as an officer in the United States Air Force and a colleague of the Kree superhero Mar-Vell in Marvel Superheroes number 13 March 1968. Danvers later became the first incarnation of Ms. Marvel in Ms. Marvel number 1 cover dated January 1977, after her DNA was fused with Mar-Vell's during an explosion, giving her superhuman powers. Debuting in the Silver Age of comics, the character was featured in a self-titled series in the late 1970s before becoming associated with the superhero teams the Avengers and the X-Men. The character has also been known as Binary, Warbird and Captain Marvel at various points in her history. Danvers has been labeled Marvel's biggest female hero, and quite possibly Marvel's mightiest Avenger. In 2012, Danvers' incarnation of Ms. Marvel was the highest-ranked female character. Marvel is launching a new volume of Captain Marvel with Kelly Thompson and artist Carmen Carnero as the incoming creative team. Together, they are going to chronicle Carol Danvers' new adventures, and give fans of the upcoming Marvel Studios Captain Marvel a strong jumping-on point. Although she only been calling herself Captain Marvel since 2012, Carol's heroic legacy goes back 4 decades when she first burst on the scene as Ms. Marvel. It's impossible to be a heroine for that long without making a few enemies, and Carol villains are a particularly dangerous lot. Fortunately, Captain Marvel is one of the most powerful heroines in the Marvel Universe. Ahead of the release of Captain Marvel number 1, Marvel.com is taking a look back at 10 of Carol Danvers' greatest enemies. In case they show their faces again, we're excited to see the potential rematches.
Number 1. Ronan the Accuser. Ronan was born on the planet Hala, the capital of the Kree Empire in the Greater Magellanic Cloud. Ronan later joined the Accuser Corps, who are the Kree equivalent of military governors and jurists, and his rise through their ranks was extraordinary. He eventually became the third most powerful being in the Kree Empire. The Supreme Intelligence ultimately appointed him Supreme Accuser of the Kree Empire, as which he is known simply as Ronan the Accuser. On his first mission, Ronan is sent to Earth to investigate the destruction of a robotic Kree sentry at the hands of the Fantastic Four. The team defeats Ronan, which prompts a Kree expedition to spy on and assess Earth. Captain Marvel is a member of the team, and he interacts with Ronan frequently during his mission. Ronan secretly plans with Zarek to overthrow the Kree leader, the Supreme Intelligence, believing the Empire should not be ruled by a non-humanoid entity. But Ronan is paralyzed by the psionic powers of Rick Jones, and control of the Kree Empire reverts to the Supreme Intelligence. Ronan is subsequently mentally dominated by the Supreme Intelligence, and battles Marvel on multiple occasions. Ronan later regains his sanity and returns to his former position as Supreme Accuser. During the Second Kree-Skrull War, Ronan executes a Skrull duplicate of the Silver Surfer. When Earth becomes a prison planet, Ronan serves as its warden. The Supreme Intelligence then plans to subvert the Galactic Council and use Ego the Living Planet as a weapon. Although Ronan is able to elevate his power by tapping into Ego's own energy, Mr. Fantastic, Iron Man, Giant Man and Bruce Banner manage to create a machine that transfers Ego's essence into Quasar. The weakened Ronan is defeated and captured by the US agent. When Ronan is falsely accused of treason by Tana-Nile, he discovers he has been framed by a highly placed member of a Kree house. After defending the Kree Empire against the Annihilation Wave, Ronan clears his name and kills his betrayer, although not before he lobotomizes the Supreme Intelligence. In an act of mercy, Ronan kills the Supreme Intelligence and becomes ruler of the Kree Empire. During the Phalanx conquest of the Kree, Ronan works with the Super Skrull and Wraith to free his people. When the Inhumans seek aid from the Kree against the Skrull's secret invasion, Ronan agrees on the condition that the Inhuman princess, Crystal, marries him. On their wedding day, Ronan is severely beaten by the Shi'ar Imperial Guard and hospitalized. He does not fully recover until after the War of Kings is over. During the war with the Cancerverse, Ronan is a member of Nova's main attack force. In an effort to prevent further conflict, Ronan joins the Annihilators, who protect Galador from the dire wraiths and oppose the Universal Church of Truth's attempt to revive the Magus. Ronan is soon separated from his wife under the orders of Black Bolt, as part of a truce made between Black Bolt and the Supreme Intelligence to ensure peace between Inhumans and the Kree Empire. Crystal and Ronan are deeply saddened by this decision, as their arranged marriage had eventually become a stronger relationship. In the Infinity storyline, Ronan the Accuser and the Supreme Intelligence appeared as members of the Galactic Council. Ronan later fights Thanos' minion Black Dwarf of the Black Order, and kills him. Ronan the Accuser steals the Black Vortex from the cosmically powered X-Men, and, against the Supreme Intelligence's orders, submits to the Vortex and receives cosmic powers. Mr. Knife later steals the Vortex and destroys Hala and the Supreme Intelligence. Ronan and the Imperial fleet survive, but the last remaining seat of the Supreme Intelligence was stolen from the Collector by Star-Lord's half-sister Victoria. Ronan wanders the ruins of Hala alone while remembering the names of the Kree that fell in battle when he came into conflict with Novar and the Inhumans except for Crystal. Thanks to Crystal's reasoning, Ronan blames himself for disobeying the Supreme Intelligence's orders. After freeing his captive, Ronan witnesses Novar planting the seed of his reality's Plex intelligence into the remains of the Supreme Intelligence. Even though Hala has a new leader, Ronan still blames himself for what happened to the planet. In the pages of Death of the Inhumans, Karnak confronts the unnamed Kree commander of a Kree contingency that was sent away to explore and chart the outer reaches of the universe. After generations away they finally return to Hala, only to find it in ruins. The Kree commander also reveals that they eliminated Ronan, exiled those loyal to him and decided to use the Inhumans as part of their plans to rebuild Hala and bring a new dawn to the Kree Empire. However, Black Bolt eventually found out that the Kree commander had lied to Karnak about Ronan's fate. The Kree actually captured him and the Kree soldiers loyal to him and made gruesome experiments on them. Now merely a cyborg, Ronan begged Black Bolt to end his misery as he apologized for all the pain he caused to the Inhumans, to which he complies by whispering, "You are forgiven." Number 2, the Supreme Intelligence. The Supreme Intelligence, also known by the honorific title Supremor, was created more than 1,000,000 years ago on the planet Kree by the extraterrestrial race known as the Kree to help them create a cosmic cube like their enemies the Skrulls had once created. The Supreme Intelligence is composed of the brains of the greatest Kree minds, namely the Kree's thinkers, generals, philosophers, scientists, and so on, removed upon their deaths and assimilated by the computer, adding their knowledge and experience to its own. Eventually, the intelligence developed a mind of its own and refused to create the cube, knowing the dangers that could be wrought by an evolved cosmic cube, which was what had destroyed massive parts of the Skrull Empire. Despite this, it was allowed to continue to exist to serve the Kree with its wisdom. Its influence eventually grew to the point where it replaced the Kree government as ruler of the Kree Empire, although it has occasionally been subsequently deposed for periods of time. Most of the Kree are fanatically devoted to it, and its worship is an organized religion. Early in the career of the Fantastic Four, the Supreme Intelligence sent Ronan the Accuser to execute them. It later discovered the treachery of Zarek and Ronan, and then honored Kree hero Marvel with a new uniform. The Supreme Intelligence was deposed as the leader of the Kree Empire by Ronan. The Supreme Intelligence was revealed to have mentally influenced the human Rick Jones and the U.S. Alien Activities Commission from behind the scenes in order to regain its power. It stimulated Rick Jones's psionic potential, the evolutionary potential of the human race, otherwise known as the Destiny Force, to end the Earth Vicinity campaign in the first Kree-Skrull War. The Supremor revealed that it realized long ago that the Kree were at an evolutionary dead end. Its main concern became to find a way to jumpstart its race's evolution, and its manipulations of Rick Jones and Marvel were part of this process. The Supreme Intelligence then regained leadership of the Kree Empire. Later, it mentally dominated Ronan, and used Ronan as a pawn in battle against Rick Jones and Captain Marvel. It attempted to absorb the minds of Rick Jones and Captain Marvel, and employ the remote control Supremor androids as a housing for its consciousness. Number 3, MODOK. George Tarleton is a technician for the organization Advanced Idea Mechanics, AIM. He was born in Bangor, Maine. Having recently created the Cosmic Cube, the AIM scientists use advanced mutagenics to alter Tarleton and create the super-intelligent MODOK, acronym for Mental Organism Designed Only for Computing, to study and improve the object. MODOK, however, becomes ambitious, kills his former masters and takes control of AIM. Calling himself MODOK, Mental Organism Designed Only for Killing, he comes into conflict with the hero Captain America, who is intent on rescuing S.H.I.E.L.D. agent Sharon Carter from AIM. MODOK becomes a recurring foe for Captain America, battling the hero on 3 more occasions, with the last encounter revealing the villain's origin. MODOK also battles Namor the Submariner and Doctor Doom, the latter intent on claiming the Cosmic Cube. MODOK reappears and kidnaps Betty Ross, changing her into the mutate Harpy with gamma rays in a bid to destroy the Hulk. The character follows the Hulk and the Harpy to a floating Erie, where the Hulk's alter ego Bruce Banner cures Ross of her condition. MODOK and an AIM team arrive in time to kill the creature known as the Beast, the guardian of the Erie, but not before activating a self-destruct mechanism, forcing the characters to flee. MODOK also accepts the offer of the other dimensional being the Black Llama and participates in the War of the Supervillains, but fails to capture the prize when defeated by Iron Man. Number 4, Deathbird. Deathbird was born Khalzi Naramani to the ruling house of the Shi'ar Imperium on the Erie, now known as Chandler, native world of the Shi'ar. Her name was stripped from her after it was prophesied that she was destined to commit great evil. She was exiled after brutally murdering both her mother and an unnamed sister. During this exile, she traveled on Earth and became an associate of MODOK and AIM at some point. Following AIM's orders, she battled Ms. Marvel in New York one evening after Carol Danvers' Park Avenue penthouse was destroyed by a bomb. The skirmish was interrupted after Deathbird severely injured the superhero, who became distracted trying to save the lives of 2 small children. It later resumed when Carol, going undercover, discovered that AIM had a secret headquarters underneath Alden's department store. The battle between the two seemingly ended with Deathbird's demise and MODOK's escape after betraying her. Whether Deathbird sought revenge on AIM remains unknown. She did battle Hawkeye while still on Earth. She battles Ms. Marvel again in Ms. Marvel Volume 1 number 22. Sometime later, her younger sister Lilandra became Magistrix of the Empire following the events that left their brother, Daken, comatose. Deathbird decided to take the throne for herself, and allied with the Councilman Sameter, alien parasites called the Brood, and renegade members of the Imperial Guard in an attempted coup. The X-Men defeated her and her allies, but not before being infected by the Brood, although they were ultimately cured thanks to the efforts of Danvers and the Akanti Soulsinger. She later succeeded in deposing Lilandra with the aid of the Brood, and took the throne for herself. As ruler of the Shi'ar Empire, she contended with the Starjammers and Excalibur, and sought to capture Rachel Summers, but was nearly killed by Lilandra in combat. Number 5, Moonstone. Dr. Carla Sofan, also known as Moonstone, and was born in Van Nuys, California. She grew up in the mansion of Hollywood producer Charles Stockbridge, as the child of the butler Carl Sofan. After her father's death, her mother Marion Sofan worked 3 jobs to put her daughter through college, and Carla vowed never to end up like her mother and that she would never put another's needs before her own. Despite building a successful practice as a psychologist and psychiatrist, Carla so disliked being dependent on her patients for income that she entered the super-criminal world as an aide to Dr. Faustus. Learning of Lloyd Block, aka the original Moonstone, she became the supervillain's psychologist and manipulated him into rejecting the source of his powers, an extraterrestrial gem of considerable power, which she then acquired and absorbed to gain the powers of Moonstone. She then battled the Hulk. It has been revealed Carla murdered her mother by suffocating her and then set her house on fire. It has also been said that during Sofan's career as a psychologist, she convinced depressed patients to kill themselves while she watched, and was instrumental in the therapeutic hospitalization of 6 more. Number 6, Rogue. Her parents, Owen and Priscilla, married early in their relationship and lived in a back-to-nature hippie commune in Caldecott County, Mississippi. Born as Anna Marie, she also enjoyed the attentions of her Aunt Carrie, on her mother's side. Anna Marie was raised speaking colloquial English and French, common to the Mississippi Bayou area. The commune's failed attempt to use Native American mysticism to reach the far banks resulted in Priscilla's disappearance. Carrie took over Anna's care, and in her grief at the loss of her sister, was a strict and authoritarian guardian. Anna Marie was a rebellious child and, at some point, the exact event or reason still unclear, she ran away from home as a young teenager. At some point, Rogue grew close to a boy named Cody Robbins. During their flirtation, Cody impulsively kissed her, at which point her latent mutant power to absorb the life energy and psyche of others with skin-to-skin contact emerged. Rogue was traumatized by the experience, and Cody was left in a permanent coma. Hence, Rogue wore body-concealing clothing that eliminated the possibility of accidental skin contact. She wished she did not have to cover up so much around folks to protect them from her. She thought her power was a curse. After Rogue's mutation emerges, Mystique begins coaxing Rogue into taking part in her terrorist activities as a member of the Brotherhood of Mutants. Rogue initially wants only a normal life, but after she kisses a boy named Cody, unintentionally rendering him unconscious with her power, she gives up on normality and begins taking part in Mystique's plans. Number 7. Ghazi Rashid. Ghazi Rashid may not be a well-known villain, but his impact on Carol's life was immense. Years before she was a superheroine, Rashid captured Carol in Afghanistan. He tortured her for information about Ascension, a scientific project that could give normal humans superpowers. Rashid later resurfaced with superhuman abilities and fought Carol while her own powers were unstable. Rashid seemingly perished in the battle, but if he returns, it wouldn't be the first time that he cheated death. Number 8. Jaan Raghav. Jaan Raghav is a Kree military officer who is the commander of the Helion, a Kree spaceship that was sent to Earth by the Supreme Intelligence. Jaan Raghav had a deep hatred towards Marvel due to his love for the Kree medic Una. He ends up leaving Marvel on Earth so that Una can be his. Jaan Raghav later unleashes the Kree Sentry to dispose of Marvel. During his fight with the Sentry, Marvel learned that the Sentry attacking him was sent by Jaan Raghav. After Marvel defeats the Kree Sentry, Jaan Raghav contacts Ronan the Accuser to pass judgment on Marvel's actions. Ronan declines the offer, stating that the mission was not jeopardized by Marvel's actions. Jaan Raghav was on his spaceship at the time when Marvel was fighting Super Skrull in hopes that Super Skrull would kill Marvel. After Marvel breaks free from Super Skrull's ship, Jaan Raghav refuses Marvel's offer to return to Earth so that he can stop Super Skrull. Jaan Raghav later sabotages a rocket carrying deadly bacteria that was bound for space, where it crashes into the ocean. When Marvel arrives at the Cape, he is ordered by Jaan Raghav to prevent the humans from stopping the rocket from releasing the bacteria, where Marvel has his encounter with Namor. Jaan Raghav has Marvel put on trial for being un-Kree by letting Namor beat him. Though Ronan the Accuser has Marvel take out Mr. Logan upon him finding out his identity before a device Marvel had ended up putting Mr. Logan into a coma. During Marvel's holographic training program, Jaan Raghav cranks up the setting hoping that Marvel would die from the experience. Following Marvel's fight with Solem, Jaan Raghav plans to put Marvel on trial before Ronan the Accuser again. Jaan Raghav then plans to kill Marvel's fellow Cape member Carol Danvers with Kree weapons, with Marvel saving her. Jaan Raghav plotted to use this to invoke jealousy in Una. After Marvel had defeated Quasimodo, Jaan Raghav continues to make Una jealous of Marvel and Carol's relationship. Number 9. Mystique. Little is known about Mystique's past due to the fact that she can eliminate the outward signs of aging with her shape-changing power, and it's not known exactly how old she is. She apparently learned to use her shape-changing power at a very early age, for there is no evidence known to the public or the government that Raven Darkholm ever looked like anything but a normal human being. Years ago, Mystique had an affair with Victor Creed and they had a son, Graydon Creed, the recently assassinated presidential candidate and hater of mutants. Mystique has also claimed to be the mother of Nightcrawler. At some point in recent years, Mystique became the protector of the young mutant named Rogue, and looked upon Rogue as if she were her own daughter. While Rogue was under her care, she maintained the false identity of Mallory Brickman, the wife of U.S. Senator Ralph Brickman, and her adopted daughter, Gloria, was a result. Mystique had concealed her superhuman powers and criminal intentions so well over the years that, as Raven Darkholm, she was able to rise rapidly through the United States Civil Service to the trusted position of Deputy Director of the Defense Advanced Research Planning Agency, DARPA, in the United States Department of Defense, giving her access to military secrets and advanced weaponry, both of which she used for her own criminal and subversive purposes. Number 10. Marcus, Scarlet Centurion. Marcus Kang was the 23rd in the long line of sons conceived throughout time by Kang the Conqueror and various women. Each child was born and named Marcus Kang with the hope that he could be the heir to Kang. Kang wound up killing the first 22 Marcus Kangs, deeming them unworthy. However, Marcus Kang 23 was the first to show potential to be a suitable successor. After training under his father for years, Marcus adopted the Scarlet Centurion identity, a guise formerly used by his father. In one of the darkest chapters of her life, Carol was kidnapped by Marcus, the son of Immortus, and brainwashed into believing that she was in love with him. Despite Marcus' dubious story, the Avengers allowed him to leave for Limbo with Carol in tow. She later berated her teammates for falling for Marcus' obvious lies as she recovered from her encounter with Rogue. Several years later, Carol encountered another version of Marcus who called himself the Scarlet Centurion. That version of Marcus was the son of Kang, and more openly infatuated with Carol. Naturally, Carol was unnerved by the entire experience. Although both versions of Marcus are seemingly dead, the nature of time travel suggests that Carol may eventually encounter them again. And on that day, there's gonna be hell to pay. So which one do you think the strongest enemy of the Captain Marvel? Let us know in the comment below. Also check out one of these other videos and subscribe to World Top Record channel.